Hi everyone, this is Eric with TaylorTrader.com. Today is Monday, June 26th, about 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I pretty much just finished up in my day trading room today that I run Monday through Friday. You can check that out, TaylorTrader.com. In this video, I haven't had a technical analysis video posted to the YouTube in about a week or two, so kind of what I wanted to do was kind of go through some technical analysis. I'm just going to dive right into it due to the time. Jumping right into the weekly and the Euro USD, and basically I trade Euro, the pound, the yen, and the Euro yen, and I'm trying to also incorporate swing trading in the pound yen, all in my day trading room. All right, so you can hit the rewind for those pairs to see which ones they are, but basically in the Euro USD, not much has really changed from the last video. Being the summertime, being that we're coming up to more like 4th of July in the US, there's some holidays around here, summer doldrums, etc. I'm sure as traders we all know that. I've been talking about the Euro range in this upper kind of zoning here. It's been in a range via monthly for years, and what we have so far for the past couple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 week, we haven't broken a lower low or a higher high at all, really, for with some confirmation and some momentum as far as a weekly time frame. Last week we did print a little bit of a doji, and we just broke above that today. But as you can see, we're just coming right back into the range, and you could just quickly see that this is basically the 50% mark on the weekly time frame for the Euro USD. So there's really not much to say about it. It's more about how you're trading and what you kind of want to do. But basically, this is more of like a scalper's market, at least from my perspective. I'm sure there's people trying to plan long and short around here, but it's okay. I'm treating it more as kind of like a day trade scalper's market. And on Friday, I hit a long here with some targets. Today, I got trapped a little bit on a short, but I fought back a little bit on the long. I tightened my stop up and got stopped out as it's going back into the range. So here's a couple of trades here that I day trade in the room, just trying to play this range and kind of playing it tight as there's no follow through kind of either way. We are touching a little bit of a weekly high. We poked higher today, but again, like I said, we're coming back in. I don't have a setup. Typically, I will have a setup one way or the other on these videos, but honestly, I don't feel comfortable with the Euro USD setting up for the swing, as it's more of just a range-bound market. In my room, of course, I do plan entries and exits, but I'll just be honest, for Euro USD and the dollar index, it's just been kind of rangy, and just be careful in here with the summer doldrums. I am going to go to the yen because it is moving a little bit more than other pairs, and I am also in a current trade right now, so I guess it'll be more exciting kind of going over that pair, and I'm long, and I've been long since last week. As my charts load, I'll kind of explain it on the execution chart here that just popped up. But overnight, the yen Eastern, I'm on Eastern Standard Time overnight, kind of Tokyo session took this up as I'm long. I'll show you on the charts once that loads. Took some profits on some of my position, and then some news came out, and I put some orders to accumulate back long. And it based in my room, and now I just got a breakout, and I just actually hit an order to exit, taking some profits out of these longs here. Now that my charts load, I can go to the higher time frames, and really you can refer to my last technical analysis, my last TA video that I have in the yen, and not much has really changed as well. I do have, again, this is the weekly chart, over this every day in my room, and then I day trade it as well. But from my perspective, the yen from that Donald Trump kind of trade, right? Put in a low, put in a high. It's respecting a 61 fib, and it is potentially at least basing, if not making a potential higher low. But we need some work to do in the yen to make a higher high based on the weekly, as it's still making lower lows, lower highs. Now this low test right here could be that. We have some work to do, at least from my perspective, breaking these levels up here. But nonetheless, the momentum so far with this weekly low test wick and the weekly breakouts higher, also using prior weekly resistance zones now is support, the momentum is clearly to the high side, right? So from the weekly time frame perspective, obviously going down to the smaller time frames, accumulating longs and selling out as the markets are kind of potentially working themselves out. Now, I'm not going to call a new high or anything like that. If anything, from my perspective, the yen will probably be more range bound within this zone, trying to figure out which leg wants to win, higher or lower. Dropping down to the daily, I can kind of show you where I've been accumulating on this long. This was last Monday's candle, and here's that last week's high, and it last Monday, not last week's, 2 weeks ago high, and then Monday of last week, we respected basically almost to the pip of that weekly test, and Monday was probably one of the best days to trade the yen last week, and then the rest of the week has just been kind of gliding back and forth, kind of giving no directional bias, but of course, going off the higher time frames weekly and monthly, it's kind of, from my perspective, I took the long side on this with my day trading edge going long, and this is kind of like my second entry long, playing this to the upside. And of course, I do this in the room. I have people in my room doing this as well. So I accumulated long on Thursday, 1138s. I bought back in to 1125s, and then, as I said, overnight it gave me a chance to exit out of some longs. I took some longs out of this weekly yellow line retest. You can refer to my other videos to see what the yellow and orange lines mean, monthly and weekly levels. And again, there was news that came out. It just retested a prior breakout zone from the daily where I added back in. And as you can see, it based a little bit, but we're getting some chunk higher. Even right now, while I'm in the room, I'll even try to put in an order up here to even sell out of some if we go higher in price up until this point. So you'll see that order kind of come in to right there, bang. So even if we continue to make higher highs, I'm going to be selling out of some positions to take profits up into these zones here. So catching the 80, that's going to be right before that monthly high right there as we speak. So I just did that live for you right now in the market. But basically, the yen, we're just, I kind of already went over the weekly. You can refer to the other things to the other video. I'm just trying to be a little bit quick here. And you can catch me in the day trading room if you want to see this daily. But basically, we're just breaking out after a long base because we haven't really broke last week's Monday's candle. That's kind of a strong bullish candle. And again, that's coming off of a weekly test to the upside. So it's somewhat in breakout mode. We just have other levels and monthly and weekly highs that we would need to kind of break still above to have a real move. But that's not saying that there's no room to trade in here. As you could see, I've been trading this to the long side as we haven't really broke lower. And again, going off of the weekly time frame. Now, the other pair that I have is the pound. And kind of what I'm looking at for the pound is a short setup. Weekly time frame, I always go over the monthly, weeklies, and dailies in my room every day, and then we go to the small time frame to execute. But basically, long story short, I have a last month's of 127.69, which broke, and we've been basing. Now we have a kind of like a 128.20 double high on the weekly, and we broke lower last week. But basically, what I'm looking at longer from the weekly time frame is going to be a play for the short side, and we may be closing as a kind of high test bearish doji. So I'm going to be looking for this to potentially break to take it down lower. But I have orders in my swing trading accounts to catch this higher up here, having this monthly level that has held on the monthly, held on the weekly, has broke lower. But I'm sure that there may be some price points where some prior resistance now, prior support, now resistance to the right side up here for a potential setup to the short side. I'm not going to give so much of a setup on YouTube as this is kind of a swing because we could go higher. I have a plan if we go higher. In my room today, I went over, right before I closed the room, I went over how I'm going to be reacting up on this zone up here. On the GBPUSD, and again, I am talking pretty fast here, we do have that lower low, higher high, that lower low, lower high scenario on the weekly, on the daily time frame, and I have some kind of some some trend lines and some channels to kind of help me with this. This is going to be pretty much the make or break zone right in here. But again, I do have that monthly retest zone at 127.69, and it looks like it maybe wanting to close on a doji, but we're a couple hours early, and being early in my book is wrong, so it could easily spike back up. But again, in my room, I have plans around kind of what it's going to do, long or short. But I will check back probably not on this video, but I will send out an alert to how to trade this level going forward. But I'm going to be looking to short the GBPUSD if we enter higher up into these zones here. The other trade that I'm looking at in the other pair that I trade in the room again is the Euro Yen. And if any of y'all are following the videos, I pretty much laid out Euro Yen range in the prior video. Again, trying to be quick with it for the sake of time. Just ignore that for a second there. That was a little lesson that I was doing inside the room regarding the monthly and weekly zoning that I do. If you check back on my videos, I did say that we were trading down here. This is a weekly range in the Euro Yen. A lot of these markets are in ranges right now. But it's holding up on the upper third of this kind of extreme high to low. You could check the prior video. But long story short, it spiked, made a new weekly low. But again, that was a fake out. And as you could see, 3 weeks later, or 2.5 weeks later, we have this happening right now. We're breaking a new weekly high as of today. And just the same thing here. I trade off weeklies. Last week, we held the prior 2 weeks high at the 127.71 zone here. And ironically, it opened today, and we tested another prior week's high 2 weeks ago as a low, and it held, and we're grinding higher. But one thing that I want to say, because I have orders in this market to get long, I have the YouTube video, and I did say that this could be a potential for a swing if these weekly lows respect. Why is this doing this? If these weekly lows respect. Right, and this was grinding. I had this green box laid out in the prior videos, and I said if these weekly lows respect, we could see a grind higher, and you almost have to treat this as a swing trade to the upside. And kind of as you can see, I don't know the exact day, it was somewhere around here. One of these days it spiked lower, and then we just been grinding higher off of another base, and we're starting to break to the upside. And I have a weekly target on Euro Yen up at the 125.31 area. Here is a weekly high, prior weekly high that we used today as a daily low, and we broke out higher of a weekly high from last week or 2 weeks ago, a couple weeks ago. And so we are breaking weekly highs, respecting weekly support prior highs, and I have our target up on the weekly at the 125.31 level for the Euro Yen. And again, if you caught this over here, you may have potentially be more better suited to hold this trade up here. But now entering the zone in my day trading room today, I laid out some entry orders. I actually missed Euro Yen long entry by a couple pips down here. So I'm going to be looking at this in the overnight session to see how this price action lays out. I had an order at 124.75. I missed that by like a micro pip, and we're kind of going higher. And where this order is coming off of this weekly test and breaks. So I always track the monthly and weekly test zones, and so far we are holding them on the other side, flipping to the long side, breaking out of that daily kind of downward trend. Although we are in a weekly, again, I'm going pretty fast. You can catch me in the day trading room where I'll do it and answer questions slowly. But at the end of the day, we're holding this upper third of this range. So once you see weekly highs being broken and respected as now support, you got to flip long, and now it's a matter of going to the smaller time frame to kind of execute that. So the yen, the euro's in a range. Be careful. The yen, I'm kind of building a long position that I have been since kind of last week, exiting out of some positions, and I'm trying to build in long euro yen. And the pound, I'm looking at a short setup in that market. So that's that. This is Eric with Taylor Trader. Again, you can catch me in the day trading room. I do this daily from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. Monday through Friday Eastern Standard Time. Trade safe.